Hi there. So my name is Clarice Provido. People call me Clarice. I grew up here in Manila. I was born and raised here. Right now, I'm currently based in New York, but right now I'm here in Navotas. I am 23 years old. I finished my bachelor's in fine arts back in 2018. I majored in advertising arts, so that's kind of like multimedia, dabbling in different kinds of medium. And right now, I currently work as a freelance illustrator and designer. So I previously worked in fashion for a short amount of time, but then pandemic happened, so I had to shift gears. And hopefully, this video will give you good tidbits about what I do and give you an insight about yourself, and hopefully have some idea of what you want to do in the future. So, if I was to describe my art to someone inside the train or in a very short ride, like a cab ride or whatever, I would say my art focuses on creating striking visuals, emotive visuals featuring strong female leads. I have a very strong attraction towards drawing the female form and also feminine themes, and I usually revolve around transformation, metamorphosis, and those kinds of for my art, basically my style is focused and gravitating towards maximalist. I am very delighted when I do see anything that's printed, anything that's neon, anything that's warm, and I just feel alive when I see those things. So I try to integrate those visual elements in my own art. For my creative practice, from my mom, I've heard that she said that I have grabbed like a pencil pen or some sort of crayon way before I was able to speak properly. So that was one of the first ways I was able to kind of like express myself through writing. I really started when I was in 5th grade, and I remember that I drew on a Barbie doll and I tried my own interpretation on it, my own style of drawing. But we think that we have our style when we think we've nailed something, but yeah, it's just fun at first. It's just a fun hobby for me. And so I would say the latest fun project I did is the visual I did for Girl Boss. The company started by Sofia Amoruso. What Girl Boss is a media company, and this is the visual that I did for them for Kamala Harris's inauguration. I recently did this collaboration with Super Sari Sari. Super Sari Sari is a Filipino streetwear brand based in New York, and we did this series of scarves, and we did a fun shoot, and I did this design and this design. I did 2, and it was really fun because I interpreted diaspora, spirit of diaspora, and also appreciating one's growth, good and bad, in their lives. And I named it Don't Let Them Cut Your Wings. I did this very fun jacket that I made. It's my first ever embroidered jacket. It is inspired by the game The Last of Us 2. This was a real challenge for me because I just started with small pieces, but then I really committed to it because I really loved the game, and then they featured it, which was so cool. I think my other favorite project would be the one I did for Ace Hotel New York. I made this paper flower installation for them. It's just a small installation, but it was really time consuming, but I really loved how it complemented the artists on the table. So they kind of like set up like a pedestal, and then they invited artists to draw them, and it was a fun event. Right now I'm really focused on collaborations, but still focusing on my strengths as an illustrator, which is textures and the prints that I do recently and make it into a more digestible set of work that people can appreciate and be delighted. I basically, like I mentioned, I started as an artist by doing it as a hobby when I was in 5th grade, and I was really unsure of what to take for college or what to do in general as a living. But what I did was I just followed that strength, and I'm very glad and I'm very lucky to have parents who are supportive, because they really tried to just let me do my thing. And it takes a lot of guts and takes a lot of patience for your child to let them follow what they want, and I appreciate my parents for that. Always thank myself for not giving up on myself when I thought that the things I did was, didn't amount to anything. I always thought there was something that this piece of art, even though it's just a sketch for myself, even though it's just a personal piece of art, it will teach me something. As for the factors that affected my artist journey, both positive and negative. Let's start with on a negative tone. So, or the negative aspects in my journey would be that I lived in a more far off area. I live in Navotas, and it's not too close to the areas where the events are happening, which is like Makati and stuff. I mean, I know I could travel, but the constraints of being a student, the schedule wise and money wise, it's constricting you to have more exposure and more exposure to other people who do art and people who would teach art. So I try to be out there, just attend workshops and events that I'm really interested in. And also, I migrated to the States 5 or 6 years ago, and the thing is, I graduated. I didn't have enough time to look for a job here and have experience initially, because when you do study arts here in the Philippines, hopefully or most probably or automatically, it's being applied, in your career in general here in the Philippines because of the trends and whatnot. So when I moved to the States, I had to adjust, to their culture, the American culture and all those things. And I think that's a negative part, because I didn't have the edge of, having that Filipino American view, or the American point of view, POV. I think the positive side of that is that since I had a different POV, which is a Filipino who migrated in the States, and it's something different, when you look at the concept as diaspora, for example, if you feel that you don't belong in a specific area, you've uprooted here in the Philippines and you've transferred yourself physically to the States. So that's something refreshing to me. I'm trying to embrace that thought, and I feel homesick too, but it's part of life. What are your struggles and privileges in your journey? I would say my struggle would be, at first I was really a shy person. I try to hang out with my dad when he meets with other people, especially in business engagements and during events, and I try to capture his spirit of being friendly, being open, and being open to conversations that are, I wouldn't say shallow conversations, but light conversations, because that opens up, vulnerability and also learning to, meet new people. That was one of my first struggles, is to be open, because as an artist, you also need to understand that, that if you do go into art as a profession, you need to treat it as a business as well, and you need to learn how to negotiate and to connect. What would be my privilege? My privilege would be my immigrant status, because I was able to leverage that and was able to do further studies in America, especially New York, of the places where artists or creative industries congregate. One of the privilege as well is I was able to study in an art school, and I know a lot of artists will not agree on this, because some art schools have a very rigid POV on how they teach, and also students may have a different POV on how they study. So this is very subjective on how you look at it and what you get or what you absorb and leave with things that you study. What message do you want to communicate through your art? So for me, the message I want to communicate through my art, what I think I wanted to do is create the art that reflects what I like. So I want to put more encouragement and hope out there, especially for young artists like me that did not have the access to people and mentors who can help them, advance further or nurture their creative practice or creative endeavors. I also want to comfort those women who always felt like they were insecure in some way about their appearance, about what they can and cannot do. I want to use that image and that emotional strength through collaborations and work that I care about, and hopefully companies that also care about the same things as I do. Yeah, more encouragement, more love for women, more self-love, hope, and also trying to transform the negative into something positive, though sometimes it can be viewed as something toxic. But I think at some point we want to be resilient in a healthy way, and I want to be that person to myself, and hopefully create the art that makes me hopeful and makes me comfy, that soothes me, and hopefully those art pieces will soothe other people. So for alternative art forms to express my creativity and skills, I do believe, as for platforms, is that first of all, for me, my goal as an artist, as a starting young artist, and doing it as a job, is that I want to make it sustainable. Making work as an artist sustainable is so important, because how do you thrive in a condition, and how do you keep that condition consistent so that you can make work that you can make work and have the time and energy to produce the work that you want to do, or to do your best work. And alternative art forms would be online galleries. You can do licensing with your work as well, because a lot of people are interested in the work that you do. They could be looking for a specific kind of artwork that they can present to their own clients, so licensing is an option. You can also go into collaborations if you can leverage on the fact that you have a collaborator with the same or more following as you, or reach, I would say. That would be a win-win situation for both of you, and that's going to be a fun challenge, because you are injecting, or you're fusing two different tastes in one project. So another alternative, a way to earn and to share your art, would be art focus groups. I did book some jobs in Daisy. It's a UK-based website, and they're up and coming websites specifically for artists that are looking for commissions, and I'm always looking for new places to share my art. So yeah, you could book a job or two if you're confident about your skill level and your professional way of dealing with the project. First off, before I do say some tips about style, first, I think other than style, the most important is the message. And before you get to knowing your message, you have to master, or at least have a sense of mastery on the basics. Once you know the basics and the rules, you can try and break them. Just master the fundamentals, elements of art. Try to read on art history. Just get lost in it, and then try to know what you like and don't like. And so you try to inject those preferences in your own art, so that way you can try and hone those things. For my tips would be for the style part, is that know that it's not the end all be all. For me personally, message is the most important. And also, what is the feeling that you're trying to evoke? If you know the feeling and the spirit of what you want to deliver, the value that you want to deliver to the people you want to share your art with, then you are in the right place. For career-wise, tips on career as an artist, for me, I can't really say a lot, but I have a lot of experiences. I have a lot of failures as well as an artist. You know, just do passion projects. Have a passion project where you can test your skills on execution, your marketing, how you present it, and your copywriting, you know. For students, if you do want to support local artists in the Philippines, there are a lot of online exhibits right now, because before there were a lot of actual workshops and events that you could go to. Just sharing your work. If you don't have money but you want to support your local artists, just share their work for free. Give them your time and cheer them on if you really adore one artist. The appreciation means a lot. And if you have the time, I know a lot of artists right now do tip jars and donations, so donate what you can. If you can join their subscription, like their paywalls where you can subscribe to their content every month, that will be so cool. And I'm actually trying to do that for myself as well. And yeah, that's how you support local artists. If you are interested to know more of my work, I have my links, and you can visit my website, and you could also visit, I'm mostly active on Instagram. I am having this project called Corn Feelings, and it's just you can send your entry anonymously, and hopefully it will be chosen for one of the few artworks that I will be doing. And hopefully it's over once I am done with the project. I will be giving away physical prints of the actual artworks that I will choose, the final 25 out of the 100. So hopefully I will be able to do that. I hope you guys got at least one good thing about this video about myself, and I'll hopefully see you guys on Instagram or wherever. Bye.